26 will provide another data point is to make events that really matter. And to make events that really matter, you certainly have to have the most competitive golf you can get with the best players.
Some signature events this year. Do you see yourself possibly skipping some in the future just because the schedule is going to turn out that way?
Yeah, I'll always choose the schedule that best fits me. And this year that meant skipping
events on the tour schedule for 26. That doesn't include the fall. It includes 4 weeks where you're playing 2 events concurrently. That seems a little bit closer to saturation.
GregNorman was criticized for 3 years after starting a golf league with only 48 players and just 14 events, and many people in golf didn't like it. But now things are starting to change. TigerWoods has confirmed that the PGA Tour is thinking about big changes to its schedule. On December 5th at the Hero World Challenge, Tiger said the tour may start right after the Super Bowl and end before Labor Day, meaning the season would run from February to August instead of almost a whole year. That would cut the season almost in half. Tiger even said that eggs will be broken, which means some tough changes are coming by 2028. The surprising part is that the PGA Tour, which once punished players for joining LIV golf, now seems to be planning something very similar to it. The new CEO, Brian Rolap, who came from NBC Sports, wants the tour to focus on fewer events, bigger moments, and a simpler format. That sounds a lot like the LIV model they once criticized, showing a big twist in golf politics.
Hallelujah, yes. That's what I wanted in 1993, us to have control. It's the PGA Tour, it's the professional golfers tour. It's not the professional institution.
It's easy to get trapped in the circle of being at the golf course and around golfers.
So what do you think about this change? Does it look like smart growth? Or is the PGA Tour quietly copying what it once criticized? Subscribe to Golf Mode TV to stay updated on all the big moves changing the golf world. GregNorman stepped down as LIV Golf CEO in January 2025, and Scott O'Neill, a former executive with the Philadelphia 76ers, took his place. Norman's contract officially ended in August, and since then he has stayed busy designing golf courses and helping with planning for the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. Even so, reports say he has been closely watching what's happening in pro golf, and what he's seeing seems to support the choices he made at LIV. Pro golfer Beau Hossler recently spoke on the Subpar podcast about how the PGA Tour's new changes could affect players like him. Ranked 64th in the world, Hossler said that under the new system, he might only face top 5 players about 5 times a year. He explained that seeing 7 of the top 10 players together would likely only happen at major tournaments or special invite-only events. This new format is expected to split the PGA Tour into 2 levels, top players traveling and competing against each other, and everyone else fighting for limited spots. That's a big change for golfers trying to move up, especially since the Korn Ferry Tour now gives out only 20 PGA Tour cards a year instead of 30.
You hear of people getting their tour card, this is what they're talking about. And it's an actual physical card, and the tour players, once they get on the tour, they'll have their name stamped in the back of this. Pretty cool.
A future competition committee that will review the entire competitive model of the tour. You said you want significant change. You said it's a holistic process.
I think we want to be aggressive. I think we don't want the change to be incremental. We want it to be holistic, and we want to do it as soon as...
Many people in golf are now worried about what this means for young players trying to make it big. The road to the PGA Tour is getting harder than ever. Q School, which once gave out 12 full PGA Tour cards, is expected to give only 8 in 2025. For many years, this was the main path that helped unknown players work their way up to the top, but that system is slowly fading away. At the RSM Classic, Harris English said that starting the season right after the Super Bowl could cause major changes, including cutting long-time events like the Sony Open, which has been around since 1965. Even the famous Tournament of Champions in Hawaii, known for its beautiful ocean views, could be removed, meaning the entire Hawaii stretch of events might disappear. Veteran golfer Tom Hogue said the old system worked well because players could choose their own schedules, either resting or playing several weeks in a row, and that freedom made the tour special. Now, the new plan seems to focus on required appearances and smaller events with fewer players, which critics say helps top stars but limits chances for others. Losing tournaments also hurts local communities, since events like the Phoenix Open Honda Classic and John Deere Classic have raised millions for charities over many decades. These traditions are now at risk as the tour shifts toward media deals and streaming money. This all connects to a recent $1.5 billion investment from major sports owners who believe limiting access increases value. But many fans and players worry that while investors benefit, lesser-known golfers may get fewer chances. The debate grew even louder when Scottie Scheffler won Player of the Year, despite many believing Rory McIlroy deserved it after one of the greatest seasons in golf history.
Live Dead was, it brought private equity into our sport. First time ever in 54 years. Outside money got invested in.
Critics say all of this shows how some big-name stars get more support, while chances for other players keep shrinking. In an interview with Australian Golf Digest, GregNorman said that LIV Golf was the first league in over 50 years to bring private investors into pro golf. That move completely changed how the sport is funded and run. According to reports, that money helped push new ideas, better marketing, and stronger fan experiences across the PGA Tour. For a long time, the tour was slow to change, but many people believe LIV Golf forced them to finally evolve. Here's the irony. The PGA Tour is now using a model that looks a lot like the one it once criticized, except this time, it keeps full control of the money. Reports say LIV Golf never planned to replace the PGA Tour. The idea was to run 14 global events and let players compete in both leagues. Instead, the PGA Tour chose to fight back by suspending players, filing lawsuits, and raising ethical and financial concerns about LIV's funding. Now, 2 years later, the tour seems to be building something very similar to what it once said would hurt the game. Justin Thomas added another layer to the debate on the No Laying Up podcast. While talking about the Ryder Cup, he mentioned arguing with the Bethpage Black staff about green speeds because the PGA Tour wanted very specific conditions that couldn't be guaranteed. Many people see this as part of a bigger pattern, where the tour wants total control, just like with the new schedule and format changes. The Q School situation has added even more fuel to the fire. Reports say a fast-track option now lets top amateur players skip parts of the usual qualifying process. Former LIV players have also filed legal complaints, saying they were treated unfairly under the new system. On top of that, golfer Cole Hammer was disqualified for accidentally giving advice during a round. To many fans and players, moments like these show that professional golf is moving away from a simple, fair system and becoming more complicated and political.
Always choose the schedule that best fits me, and this year that meant skipping a few signature events. I might skip less next year. I might skip the same amount, I don't know, but it's all just, the luxury of being a PGA Tour player is we are free to pick and choose our schedule for the most part, and I took advantage of that this year, and I'll continue to take advantage of that for as long as
Catholics weren't happy, Protestants weren't happy, but it brought peace. And if that's and then you just sort of learn to live with whatever has been negotiated.
GregNorman has believed in the same idea from day one: make golf more global, play fewer events, put them on bigger stages, and let the best players compete around the world. When he first shared this vision, he was heavily criticized and even called a traitor for trying to change golf traditions. The PGA Tour painted him as a bad guy, saying they were protecting fairness, history, and a system where players earn their way up. But now in 2025, things look very different. TigerWoods, who strongly criticized LIV Golf's small field format in 2022, is now helping build a very similar system as head of the PGA Tour's future competition plans. Many people see the irony, as the same leaders who once defended tradition are now breaking that system apart. Reports say CEO Brian Rolap secured a huge $1.2 billion streaming deal, with most of that money benefiting top-ranked players, while golfers ranked outside the top 50 face fewer events and smaller chances to compete. Veteran players like Stewart Sink have admitted the path is getting tighter, and spots on the tour are shrinking fast. The number of full PGA Tour cards has already dropped, and if events keep getting cut, fewer golfers will be able to make a living. Analysts warn the tour is copying LIV's business model, without understanding why it worked for a private league, but may not work for a player-run tour. At the same time, LIV Golf isn't slowing down, scheduling events that clash directly with major PGA Tour tournaments, forcing players to choose sides. Some experts suggested keeping full fields but giving players more rest, but those ideas were ignored as TV executives pushed for scarcity to boost value. TigerWoods said every model his group studied led to the same conclusion: Fewer events mean higher value, but many fans say that's TV logic, not golf logic. Smaller tournaments give hundreds of players a real chance to change their lives, and now those chances are disappearing. Critics say golf is moving away from a system built on hard work and merit toward one driven by ratings and money. And for GregNorman, this moment isn't about being right or wrong. It's about watching the PGA Tour slowly turn into the very thing it once fought against. Golf's future is changing fast, right in front of us. Subscribe to Golf Mode TV for sharp analysis and every power move shaping the game.